Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Today we examine two cities whose histories, populations, and destinies are intertwined with Pakistan's national identity: Karachi and Lahore, with nearly 20 million people. Karachi remains Pakistan's largest metropolis and commercial nerve center, responsible for most foreign trade and industrial output. Yet, despite its enormous economic weight, its residents continue to experience daily struggles in water access, transportation, and sanitation. Lahore, meanwhile, shows visible gains in public service delivery, newer transit systems, urban parks, municipal cleaning contracts, and more predictable infrastructure investment. The contrast raises difficult questions. Why is a city with twice the economic footprint of Lahore struggling to deliver basic services? To understand this, we must look beyond surface impressions and examine the structural story. Population surges without parallel planning, fragmented governance divided between local bodies, provincial authorities, and federal institutions, and a set of infrastructure systems that, for decades, have failed to keep pace with demographic expansion. Karachi's water demand is estimated near 1 billion gallons per day, yet available supply often falls hundreds of millions of gallons short. Official testing has found contamination in major portions of the city's drinking water distribution network, regular breakdowns in pumping stations, energy shortages, and pipeline leakages magnify that scarcity. Even when repairs occur, many neighborhoods report inconsistent delivery, proving the issue is systemic, not isolated. In contrast, Lahore's water and sanitation system is not without flaws, but benefits from a more consolidated chain of authority, enabling faster maintenance, clearer funding flows, and more consistent execution. What emerges here is not a tale of rivalry between cities, nor a simple debate of one city getting more. It is the story of how the structure, capacity, and focus of governance translate into daily life outcomes. The case of waste management and mobility illustrates this gap even further. Karachi produces thousands of tons of solid waste every single day, yet not all of it is collected, leaving refuse piling in drains, open neighborhood lots, and informal dumping grounds. These blockages contribute to flooding during monsoon seasons, spread disease, and reduce air quality. Lahore's systems, while imperfect, are more centralized, coordinated across agencies, and implemented with clearer accountability mechanisms. The same pattern appears in mass transit. Karachi, despite being a megacity, has historically lacked a full, interconnected mass transport network. Bus rapid transit segments exist, but remain incomplete. Commuters rely heavily on motorcycles, rickshaws, and informal vans, creating congestion that costs workers hours every week and increases fuel consumption, pollution, and stress. Lahore's public transport options, the case of waste management and mobility, illustrates this gap even further. Karachi produces thousands of tons of solid waste every single day, yet not all of it is collected, leaving refuse piling in drains, open neighborhood lots, and informal dumping grounds. These blockages contribute to flooding during monsoon seasons, spread disease, and reduce air quality. Lahore's systems, while imperfect, are more centralized, coordinated across agencies, and implemented with clearer accountability mechanisms. The same pattern appears in mass transit. Karachi, despite being a megacity, has historically lacked a full, interconnected mass transport network. Bus rapid transit segments exist, but remain incomplete. Commuters rely heavily on motorcycles, rickshaws, and informal vans, creating congestion that costs workers hours every week and increases fuel consumption, pollution, and stress. Lahore's public transport options, including metro routes, have shortcomings and political debate around their costs, but they function consistently enough to reduce travel time for a sizable group of residents. Critics caution against romanticizing Lahore or demonizing Karachi. Both have pressing concerns, but their governing frameworks are worlds apart. Karachi's services are delivered by multiple overlapping administrative bodies, many of whom may not share data, timelines, or accountability. Projects stall, funding models fragment, and every breakdown cascades. Then come political disruptions, leadership transitions, shifting mandates, and delayed allocations. Meanwhile, urban sprawl, from industrial zones to informal settlements, accelerates beyond the capacity of planners. The result is a megacity working tirelessly to sustain itself despite limited structural support, citizens digging wells, purchasing tanked water, employing private waste collectors, and organizing neighborhood repairs. Karachi's resilience comes from its people, but no city, however determined its population, can substitute for long-term investment, modern infrastructure, and functional governance. To chart a constructive path forward, experts emphasize several keys. First, unified responsibility for essential city systems, water, waste, transport, drainage under an empowered local government or a coordinated authority that minimizes overlap and maximizes speed of execution. Second, transparent and trackable use of development funds so that citizens can see where money flows, which projects advance, and where delays occur. Third, investment in sustainable urban systems, especially water treatment, recycling, and efficient distribution networks that reduce leakage, contamination, and theft while preparing for worsening climate pressure. Fourth, expansion of mass transit that aligns with Karachi's scale, creating corridors that reduce dependence on private vehicles and unlock economic participation across neighborhoods. Fifth, partnerships with private firms and civil society groups, not as replacements for government, but as multipliers of technical capacity. Cities around the world have charted this journey, from Istanbul to Kuala Lumpur, proving that congested, overburdened cities can evolve into resilient and efficient hubs when leadership, planning, and public demand align. Karachi's potential remains immense: a young workforce, an industrial backbone, and communities accustomed to improvising solutions. Lahore's progress reminds us what determined investment, organized administration, and continuity in planning can achieve. The future does not require choosing one city over the other. The future demands that every Pakistani megacity, including Karachi, receives the structures it needs to thrive. Because when Karachi falters, industries falter. When services collapse, health collapses. When governance fragments, trust fragments. But when a megacity functions, national growth accelerates. When public systems are transparent, public faith increases. And when leaders prioritize long-term planning over temporary fixes, transformation becomes inevitable. Karachi's story does not end with crisis. It begins with reform, accountability, and ambition worthy of the people who call it home. Thank you for watching, stay informed, and continue to ask the questions that make change possible. This story doesn't end with this video, it continues with you. Like, subscribe, and share this documentary if you believe in accountability, transparency, and a better future for Karachi and Lahore. Tell us what you want investigated next. Your voice drives this channel forward, and your support keeps us independent. Thank you for watching, and remember, real change begins with awareness.